Hello, and welcome back to this Trails to Azure Let's Play with me, SLJ RPG. In the last episode, we started the Western Zemuria Trade Conference with helping out some people on the train to learn some things. What is that special juice that costs so much? Sporty and X. I will take 2 of these, why not? See what it's doing. We witnessed the tour of the Cross Tower. We witnessed the start of the most important trade conference in the history of Western Zemuria. But in the intermission, the 2 leaders of the 2 most powerful states we have here in Western Zemuria have asked for our... Everything's been instructed. So you're assuring how to force people in the trade conference? Yes, of course. Both of the 2 leaders of the participating, the 2 most powerful participating nations have asked to see us, with those being Calvard, President Rocksmith, and Erebonian's Blood and Iron Chancellor. Is that Arius and Killiker? I believe so. What could they be talking about? It's almost a year since you left the guild. Have you adjusted well to your new job? More or less. I've had to get used to working on others than I did when I was with the guild, so it seems. How's Shizuku been? As cheerful as ever, though hearing her is almost too good sometimes. Blessed to see her more often recently, to laugh with her too. It's good to hear. It's already been 5 years since Saya's passing, hasn't it? 6 years since we first met. That's right, 6 years. You and Saya met completely by chance when you came to Crossbell wandering the continent. She insisted you stay with our family while in town, no matter how much you tried to refuse, didn't she? They're expected to see you working for the Guild in Liberal 3 years later. The goddess works in mysterious ways. You never know how connections between people may turn out. I'll never forget the hospitality of the two of you showed me back then. I only regret I was unable to return a favor to her. Don't dwell on it. The fact you remember to this day would mean more than anything for Saya. They know each other through the guild. I remembered. Stella and Joshua wanted you to see you when you came here earlier the year. They were disappointed to miss you when you had lunch with Lynn during the anniversary festival. Was they? I didn't. My intention wasn't to cold shoulder. If time had permitted, I wouldn't mind catching up with them. I have, however, heard plenty about their achievements whilst they were in Crossbell. It's amazing to think those 2 are the same rookies that came through my branch's door 2 years ago. They were invaluable to us when they were here. Should have expected as much from a pair raised by Cassius. Look forward to seeing them grow even more. I'm just going to keep on going forward until it says... until I get more. I heard you've also been keeping in contact with Zen. You could say that. We rarely get the chance to meet anymore, but our positions being what they are. Oh, okay. Zen, of course, the bear claw himself. It's rather interesting, it must be said. Can I go through here now? Oh, I can. I must be overthinking it. He must be overthinking it. Of course. So, we have... This is Liberal, right? No, this is Crossbell. This is Remferia. My assumption would be this is Erebonia than the other 2. I don't know. I'm sure some Trails fans will let me know in the comments which is for which. Oh. You know, the elevator has arrived. How about after you? No, go ahead. It's quite alright. I promise I'm in no hurry. I insist you were here first. What's up, Lloyd? Look at these 2 soldiers by the elevator. They're trying to negotiate who is the first. Kind of awkward to watch. Look at them. It's like an awkward couple on an anniversary date. You don't necessarily use the elevator, you know. You're right. That's shady shit, though, it must be said. So, whose should we go to first? That's... Of course. Claudia always loved him. Oh, so that's what happened. Oh, Lucy. Yeah, I was only inferior on business, too. Guess she caught wind. Tried to run, but she caught me. She's got him better. Do you realize how many bonks over the head she gave me? 0. She hugged you and cried, didn't she? Dang it. I know exactly how Lucy feels, you know. She's probably well aware of just how dangerous your day-to-day is, and has been worried sick. Man, why do perceptive women always gotta be so scary? I never know how to handle them. Maybe if you brought it up on yourself. This really does take me back. It's been so long since I've seen you, Leo, too. I'd love for us all to have a reunion. Why the look like her? Isn't this when you say, yeah, let's all have a bash in Michelle and party till we drop? Ha, you got me. No promises, but I'll see what I can do. Just don't hold your breath, you know? I know. I'll be looking forward to it still. I should be going, if you'll excuse me. Hey, no probs. Don't forget to say hi to Siege for me. I still owe him for that salami. 1 second. I have got a knock at the door. Damn, she's really grown up. Sorry guys, I had a whole supermarket delivery happen. That was meant to happen in 2 hours time, and I was planning on recording a bit more, but it just kind of happened, so it's been a while. Carrying stuff up my stairs, but here we go. Right, damn, she's really grown up. She's become the ideal crown princess. You guys think so too, right? Busted. Of course, they know each other. We saw that in Trails to the Third. Sorry, we didn't mean to eavesdrop. It was a happy accident. Was it? It seemed very curious about their relationship, Ellie. Tio! She ain't the only one. You and the princess sure seem close. What's the story? I was a senior back in her school. Sunday school. Joel Reis Academy, to be specific. Joel Reis, isn't that the most prestigious school in Ibrel? 1 sec, guys. Here we go. That's true. They accept students from abroad, but... Did you study there in the Imperial taxpayer money? Nah, old man Gilead paid my tuition out of pocket. Well, it's about time I hit the old dusty trail myself. Oh, reminds me, you called in to talk with the head honchos, right? They're both real pains in the ass to deal with, so good luck there. What? Lecter is interesting, isn't he? He's a curious character. Could he be any more sketchy if he tried? Well, who'd have thought the next Queen of Liberia went to school with an Imperial spy? Truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. No matter how you put it, we can't forget he's a subordinate of the Blood and Iron Chancellor. As for what he's after personally, I think we'll have to figure that out for ourselves. Yes, boys. So, I think first up... Good afternoon, Special Support Section. We were just standing in between the two of them. Healthy relationship with the Bracer Guild. Best to become friends with Ernst personally. Good to hear. He's not only Crossbell I'm acquainted with. It's good to see Willie. It's been a while. Seem to have achieved you much time in the Special Support Section. You flatter me, your lordship. I see that you're doing well. Ellie seems to know fucking everyone, because she is she's basically the princess of this world, let's face it, of Crossbell, the non-state state. It's reassuring to have you here. Peace of mind and focus on the second half of the conference. About that. Problematic? I do. Unlike the first half, I expect the faults of Crossbell State will be in the spotlight one after the other. Imagine the major powers be as demanding as ever. However, I'm concerned about data. He's enthusiastic to reduce radical ideas. Such drive comes with youth. Do you respect the enthusiasm? However, I'm worried about what action that could take us today. Hadn't thought about it that way. Mr. Grimwood alluded to Major Qua having kind of planned the second half of the conference. Bring it to the table sooner rather than later. He is probably the person in a major position. This is, of course, we're gonna see everyone. Oh. Thinking about a tad broader. Crown Princess and Meaning Lodge. Good negotiator, several skills, insight, time, and objectivity. First time conference made me painfully aware that I have still room for growth in those areas. Where is Julia is what I'm asking. It's your break time. I like it when people don't have to force formality. It is refreshing. Sorry, my dogs are deciding to have a WWE wrestling match here between the two of them. I should take them out. I'm going to take them for a walk after this episode, I think. Right, perhaps nostalgic is a better word. When I'm all around you, it feels like I'm speaking with Estelle and Joshua, all the other friends. Customary for friends to treat each other. So, take care for some tea. Liberal seems to be the kingdom which I would most like to do. So, we've been awaiting for you. Is your Crossbell Police Department Special Support Section correct? We are. Is this the President's room? Yes, I've been told to let you pass. Enter and mind your manners. Alright, please excuse us. This man is the President of Calvard, one of the continent's 2 largest nations. Sure is, even I've got butterflies in my stomach. Well. Excuse us, Mr. President. Thank you for requesting to meet with the Special Support Section. Thank you all for coming. Please sit down. No need to feel anxious, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Gladly. Well, you are all surprised I called you here? Where are my manners? Allow me to apologize for taking up your precious time. I imagine you must be very busy. You don't have to apologize to us. It's right, it's an honor to be invited. Your Speaker McDowell's granddaughter, isn't that right? We've met once before at a celebration of some kind, if I remember correctly. That's right, we spoke once. I had the opportunity to visit Calvard with my grandfather. It was 2 years ago. Now I remember. And then just earlier this year, your grandfather chose not to seek a re-election and became the Speaker. I truly admire how passionate he is at his age. He's a model statesman, if I do say so myself. I'm sure Grandfather would be flattered to hear that. By the way, Mr. President, what was it that you called us here for? Truth be told, I've heard about you a lot from Gilligan. This year's Swash auction sounded quite the event, am I right? Frankly, small my Speaker Hartmann and I were never on good terms. And selfishly, I've been eager to meet the police that tips the first dominoes that led to his downfall. We're honored, sir? Yeah, but honestly, that dude had it coming. He ain't got no one to blame but himself. That is true. He made his bet the day he became involved with the cult. Yes, of course I know them too. The deed for G called the treachery spread across the entire continent, but no country was more affected than my own. I owe my thanks for putting a stop to them once and for all. You're welcome, but really, we're only doing our jobs. We weren't alone either. Several others supported us and made sure we solved that crisis in one piece. No need to be so humble, my boy. I heard great things with Ardadire. Even after your Guardian Force was being manipulated. Talk about an uphill battle, yet still you managed to overcome it all. Protect the little girl and squash the cult. Goodness, these are no small achievement, lads. Well, you flatter us, Mr. President. Truly, thank you for such high praise. Honestly, had Crossbell fallen to the cult, I don't know what we would have done. If they had taken hold of the IBC, that would have brought international trade to and finance to a halt. Since things such things would have severe consequences for our own economy. That's true. Oh, the more reason I'd like to acknowledge your valor. I think fitting thing to do would be to award you each a medal. Yes, that sounds perfect. As soon as I return to the Republic, I'll have arrangements made. No, it's not necessary. It isn't appropriate for citizens of Crossbell to receive awards from Republican government. And besides, we got plenty of recognition back in May from old man McDowell. I love how Randy just doesn't give a shit. Truly, I don't think there's anything inappropriate about it at all. Your troubles are your own as well. After all, the Republic holds suzerainty over Crossbell. Huh?
Mr. President, there's no need for long faces and glares, boys and girls. You received an invitation from our pal, the Blood and Iron Chancellor too, did you not? I would be delighted to speak with you all the more, but I think my turn is over. And not to fear. I'll see to it that you receive those medals we spoke of. Please, look forward to it. Oui.
That's one of the more fun voices to do. Man, what people must think of me sitting here in this room. My neighbours must think I'm a fucking weirdo. So they're quite old, so that's fine. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I believe you were called by the Chancellor Osbourne too. You can find his room in the opposite wing. Thanks. We appreciate your help. Welcome. Farewell. Au revoir. He was something, wasn't he? Exactly what I expected from the leader of a large country. Capable, devilishly cunning. Could you at least say that while we're not standing in front of his room, was he? Yes, but he is not wrong. I do not think he was intentionally trying to put pressure on us, but he managed it either way. I think he was trying to keep up appearances. As Calvard's president, he would be good publicity to honor ones who were credited with ending the cult incident. He said Crossbell's troubles are theirs as well, which reaffirms that he sees Calvard as Crossbell's owners. Man, you sure you ain't making that clear wasn't his whole reason for calling us in there? These major power leaders got egos as wide as their country's borders. Without a doubt, even Diet members from autonomous states like this have nothing on them. We have to speak to the Chancellor. What could that be about? I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I do know what we need to steel ourselves before we meet him. I would say he's certainly the more intimidating of the two. Ooh. Good to see you again. Mind giving us a status report? Nothing to report for now. How about you two? Have you learned anything? Fortunately not, things have been quiet. And perhaps exhausting all avenues as well. No leads to come from either reformist or noble. It's unfortunate. Nada from both imperial factions. These seem like real preachers to work with. Yesterday, Prince Olivet mentioned the possibility of creating a third faction, didn't he? It's been on my mind ever since. If you wouldn't mind, Major, can you tell me more about what he intends? Good question, Al. Indeed, truth be told, his goals are simply beyond remaining neutral. I'm not supposed to be saying much, but I don't think there's any harm in sharing a little bit with the SS. Suppose, metaphorically, you could say the Prince is trying to clear some long-standing barriers. A few barriers sounds way too familiar. Basically, there's irreconcilable differences between the noble and reformist factions. Yet, that's not stopping him. He's going to try and have the two come to terms anyway. It's absurd as it is. Absurd, sorry. The Prince is trying to have the reformist and noble factions reconcile. I understand how idealistic he is, but isn't there a schism between those two as wide as Gorilla Canyon itself? Wazi, don't be so rude. He's absolutely right. The Prince has been dealing with a monster for over a year now, and isn't afraid to think out of the box. People have been saying much worse behind his back. When they see him as a showy, debaucherous bastard prince whose only concern is his hobbies. It's fine with me. I've decided to stand by him regardless. I think that's admirable. Isn't it? It's just as Prince Claudia said, the Prince will always have an ally in Liberal Major Mula. We won't be able to intervene directly, but we'll assist you two in any way we can. Thank you, Senior Captain. I'm truly grateful. They're gonna boink. The Prince must be truly loved by so many valuable allies. What do I say sometimes? I think all the movement of the Tesco deliveries got me all giddy, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I don't know to go that far, but there's no question he has an effect on people. Still, the best thing that could happen today would be the trade conference ending without incident. It's all I want. I'll be counting on you two for some time to come. Special support section. Cute. A true union between Liberal and Arabonia. Two stalwarts. The standards of military excellence combining. Anyway, ding ding ding. It must be the Chancellor's room. The mission will likely be over by the time we're done speaking with him. We should take care of anything else we need to do beforehand. Like, we come half this way and just have the conference second half. Things are going to be more difficult. I'll be wishing the Major and Speaker luck. I believe you'll be able to visit both rooms if you'd like. I would like to go in here. And go to see what happens if I go here. Are the people out of the way? They certainly are, okay. It's interesting to see how a lot of this plays out, because I've deliberately stayed spoiler free for most of these games. I do know that the next part of this game does take place in Erebonia, so I am looking forward to that. But let's go speak to... I see we share the same hopes of the bright men and women will be leading our homes someday.
That we do. What the special about them is their hearts and minds are like a pure garden basking in morning dew. That's why more and more of... Oh, hello, Special Support Section. Care to join in on our chat?
Sure, if we're not interrupting, that is.
What were you two discussing?
His Highness happens to be on the board of directors at a prestigious military academy in Erebonia. We were just discussing the finer details of his duties.
Board of directors? Those are people responsible for how the school is operated, yes?
You got a lot on your plate, don't you?
It's one of my other little schemes to get my name out there. I think the Major here is doing far more than I am. Major Qua is involved too.
He simply means as a business partner. The IBC is the Epstein Foundation's benefactor. And it just so happens the Foundation is involved in a major test occurring at the Academy.
Would that mean you're indirectly contributed? That does remind me, I've heard the Orbital network tests have begun in the Empire. No surprise that the continent's largest bank is holding clout in every country in some form or another. Quite right, I think our little talk yesterday was preordained by the goddess herself. What'd you say to being a guest lecturer at the Academy one day if the opportunity arises? Though I'll have to warn you that a teacher-student relationship is strictly prohibited.
Why does it feel like you're reciting that from perfect memory? It does sound quite you do sound like quite the popular fellow, Prince Olivert. May I steal you away for one night of drinks myself when this is all over?
Oh, I'd love nothing more, my friend. It'll be a rousingly good time.
Looks like His Highness and Uncle have already hit it off. I guess to say them more similar than I thought. I don't know about that. For Mo's drinking buddy, we all know that it's Scheherazade Harvey. Thanks. So, here we go. SSS group from Crossbell. His Excellency is waiting for you inside. Don't keep him waiting.
Right. Pardon us. He's exuding arrogance. Classic Imperial Army, ever-bearing as Olga Henna.
Now, I can't remember what my voice was for J.D. Osbourne, but I'm going to go deep and dark and powerful, because I feel like it's what it should be. Excuse us, Chancellor Osbourne.
Announcing the arrival of CPD's special support session. Thank you for having us.
Do come on in. My name is Giliath Osbourne. Magnificent view, isn't it? Fascinating to think mankind built a structure like this to look down on the world below. Well, we're standing in the proof that we finally achieved the glory the ancient civilization once had.
Maybe so. Are you referring to the ancient Zemurian civilization from over 1,200 years ago?
Everything I've heard about the ancient civilization makes it sound like they more or less had magic at their fingertips. It wasn't necessarily a utopia, mind you. During last year's liberal incident, a large floating city appeared over the kingdom. The city was constructed before the Great Collapse, and yet was sealed away by human hands. It's a symbol of both mankind's potential and its hubris.
Our hubris, but our potential too? It sounds like you know a lot more about what's happening around the continent.
Oh, I wouldn't say I know everything. As far as Crossbell is concerned, I haven't discovered nearly as much as that priest, Joachim Gunther, did.
How did you...
It's what we don't know that makes this world so interesting. If you ever had everything in the palm of your hand, the life as you know it would be hopelessly mundane. Don't you agree, Wazzy Hemisphere?
So you've heard of me too. Did you only go as far as learn my name? I hope you're trying to expose all my little dirty secrets.
Perish thought I had no particular interest in doing so. Much more interested in the successor to the War God.
Yeah? The Imperial Intelligence Division, I take it. Their ability to gather information is second to none.
Well, where are my manners? I'm head of the state of the Ereboni Imperial Government, Giliath Osbourne. I've heard much about you from Lecter. Care to join me for a friendly chat before intermission ends?
Well then, Chancellor, what is it you want to discuss with us? You already seem too aware of everything that is happening right now.
Don't overthink it. This is merely a polite conversation. There's something I would like to hear your opinions on, however. Our opinions? Yeah, I'll be frank. How long do you think your precious crossbow will last?
That's a loaded question, isn't it?
On the contrary, it's certainly not out of malice. History tells us that no government lasts forever. There's nothing of the Osbourne Revolution, which has accelerated all aspects of our current era. How much longer can a land contested as crossbow withstand the coming turbulence of this era?
I'm not sure. Forever. As long as there are citizens in the state that have the will to protect it.
She stands up. She would have stood up at that point and done a little salute. No! True, having a strong will is important. Resolve, one might say. There are rare instances in time where trends buckled, and the course of history itself is changed. There are people never truly powerless. I don't doubt the potential their resolve can hold.
Then, you agree?
However, what happens when two opposing resolves clash? It's simple. The lesser of the two will be engulfed, fanning the flames of the revolution even further. Eventually, that hellfire will swell and make its way to the surface. The justice and ethics of the past will decay in the searing heat, until the world itself is ablaze. Surely you can see it on the horizon.
He's certainly different. I can understand how, compared to the Empire or the Republic, Crossbow's resolve would seem insignificant. But even if one is smaller, it doesn't make it lesser. It's not a foregone conclusion that the larger one will engulf it. Just as it wasn't when Libero repelled the Imperial Army.
Oh. Damn!
That's right, the 100 Days War from 12 years ago.
Well played. Resolve is ultimately a question of tenacity. Libero was small but tenacious. It overcame a shambolic effort the Empire put forward. There's much crossbow would glean from that moment in time. However, I am unconvinced that Crossbellians hold the same pride and conviction that Liberans do. I'll leave things at that. Our intermission is coming to an end. Oh, it almost slipped my mind. Don't expect notes from the Imperial government. The nobility becomes even more irksome when the Nords are given to commoners.
Interesting. We have seen the two sides of the coin of Western Zemuria.
Consider yourselves fortunate. His Excellence rarely seems in such a good mood.
What? Are you kidding me?
He seems to have taken a liking to you. I said it may be a tough pill to swallow, but I'd suggest you accept what he has to say. Though perhaps it isn't my place to tell you that, given my position.
You can't be serious. That man is a damn monster. Right, but we have to take his perspective for what it is and not let it affect us. Hey Tio, you okay? Yes, I'll be fine. The imagery he was describing was a little too vivid. I got lightheaded was all. I don't blame you. It was like I could feel the flames he was describing breathing down my neck. Calling the Blood Iron Chancellor a monster is putting it lightly. He believes he holds the whole of Crossbell in the palm of his hand.
Maybe, but I'm not convinced that he called us here to torment us, believe it or not. Same goes to President Rocksmith. I think the interest they've taken in us is genuine, for better or worse. Let's just take it for what it's been, a learning experience. Sorry, the wrestling match has now apparently gone onto the place underneath where I sit. Anyway, that's one way to look at it. This is an aspect from you that we can all learn from. You're telling me, little I to see the glass half full.
But he's right. There's no use in letting this slow us down. Of course there isn't. We can use this moving forward.
Now the intermission is over. Our next stop is obvious. Let's head back to Dudley and report how the two conversations went. Trails to Azure.
Interesting. The same day, 4:30 p.m.
Just as Grumman had predicted, the discourse became turbulent in the second half of the conference. Chancellor Osbourne and President Rocksmith continued to raise question after question aimed at Crossbell's security and future. As the conversation wore on, the looks on Major Croix and Speaker Dow's faces became more sullen and stern. Now, the heart of the problem is the lone cult was able to cause so much public disorder. In a single night, no less. Furthermore, half of Crossbell's state guard fell under their control. Such a failure of security is unprecedented. Be that as it may, I thought we'd had already fully covered those details. The details are not in question. The quality of your state's crisis management is what we're concerned about. You cannot deny the lives and property of Imperial citizens were threatened during that incident. What do you have to say to that?
Hold on for just a moment, Chancellor. Reparation procedures already took place regarding the cult incident. Asking for further mirror on top of it will only cast Erebburn in an unfavorable light.
Mirror is not the issue either, Your Highness. The Crossbell state government has yet to answer how it can guarantee true security. There is a need to protect lives, property, economic interests for all those in and tied to Crossbell. Is such protection guaranteed from a state constantly in political gridlock and susceptible to top-down corruption?
Pardon me, but I've heard former Speaker Hartmann was immediately removed from office upon his corruption coming to light. Crossbell's political system has shown capable of conducting itself. Wouldn't a new security system suffice?
I must disagree, Your Lordship. Surely you don't think it would be that easy. Crossbell's political foundation is prone to corruption by nature. With that said, I know, of course, Major Quan Speaker Dagdala here, outstanding statesman. However, what would happen to Crossbell without them? How quickly would things regress without their leadership?
Corruption exists in every form of government. It is not true of only Crossbell, but of my kingdom as well. That taken into consideration, would it not be best for us to observe whether Speaker and the Major can bring political reform during their terms?
Pardon me for saying so, Your Highness, but I believe it is rather naive of you. I understand why you would be hopeful. However, Crossbell is different than a monarchy such as liberal. It's easy to undermine the political system of somewhere that has no central traditional authority. History has proven that time and time again.
That may be true, but
If I may, my country also does not have a monarchy, but an honorable republican charter. It was impressive undertaking various powers and groups that gathered after our revolution.
1 second, guys. Oh god, his voice makes me like fuck up my thing.
With the charter in our place, our country knows our system can survive and improve, even if after many mere times too be struggling with corruption.
Say as you say, this is not as if, though our autonomous state isn't without its own pride and honor. True that in our state's young history, imperfections in its design have come to light, but however so, it is that we have been improving upon them slowly but surely. Mr. Grimwood, may I ask how additional laws and amendments have been passed by Crossbell's government in the last 10 years? But of course, I do not have the exact figure in front of me, however, I would estimate 50 in total.
Just 50 in the Sacrable. 50 in 10 years, I'm surprised. That's an average of only 5 a year.
Perhaps, though the rate has been increasing in recent years, there were 12 laws passed last year if I'm not mistaken. Admittedly, many of those pertain to the additions in finance and the establishment of the Orbital Network. Regardless, I think it's clear that we cannot assume that a meaningful new security framework would be implemented quickly, as I suspect it to be wiser to seek alternative solutions in the interim.
I wholeheartedly agree.
well, I'll be, if I hadn't realized the two of you had become such good chums. Would you care to settle this territorial dispute over the North Highlands today while you're at it?
Your point is well taken, Your Highness.
We'll leave that discussing for another day.
Anime sound. Time is growing short, gentlemen, and I advise we move on to the next proposals. I've not decided what his Renfaria is like yet.
Very well, then, as proposed by His Excellency, let's review.
Rocksmith versus Osbourne.
This is bad. It's exactly like Greenwood warned it would be. The Blood and Iron Chancellor and the President are going knives out on Crossbell right now. There is nothing the Major or Speaker can say in objection. They're right, the Crossbell State Law has several structural flaws. They're making it harder for Grandfather and Uncle to deny what they're saying. Maybe it's those floors were built in Crossbell by major powers during its founding 70 years ago. They're using it to their advantage to force their unreasonable demands. Oh, they were scripting things down like this from the very beginning.
As I've told you before, the discourse in the conference has nothing to do with us. Keep your head straight. See that we make it through today.
Yeah, sorry, Dudley. In that case, we should begin another
Dudley, First Division. Emma, or something.
What? What's going on? Something must have happened.
Ray Constellation and Hayo are both on the move. Shaking our surveillance.
No way. What?
Don't panic. We knew this could happen. Stay alert. I'll keep posted if there are any developments.
Understood.
Now's as good time as ever. We should begin mobilizing reserve forces.
Damn, this really did go down, huh?
What the hell are they planning?
Randy. Try to keep your cool, Randy. We know the Red Constellation isn't the real threat. Right, the Brand Force of the police is protecting the interests of the building. They can't possibly be hoping for a fight like that, can they? Everything we know says that's unlikely. Them moving forward isn't good news, though.
What is it that you just said?
What's going on down there? Grandfather?
Your Excellency, what is it that you just said? My apologies, but would you please repeat yourself?
Gladly. I'll say it as many times as you'd like. Disband the Crossbell Guardian Force. In its place, the security forces of other countries permanently stationed in Crossbell. It's the most logical course of action.
Please wait a moment. Surely you are forgetting the terms of the Non-Aggression Pact, Chancellor Osbourne.
Of course not. We agreed not to use force to solve disputes in and over Crossbell. This, however, is not an attempt at an invasion. I am merely stating the obvious. A useless pseudo-military organization that loses control and threatens those people's lives should be disbanded. In practice, the Crossbell police force is inconsequential when placed before the Imperial or even Republican armies. In front of true tanks, the CGF's armored cars may as well be made out of paper. To say nothing on the drain of cross-billion mirror it costs to maintain. Leave matters of state security to foreign military forces. This is the best and most cost-efficient solution to a mere autonomous territory.
Oh, I think that is far too radical of an option, sorry, one person. Just how do you propose these foreign military forces be designated? Are you suggesting it be the Imperial Army?
I don't recall saying that. Then again, wouldn't it forgive Crossbell's past transgressions and offer the Imperial Army's assistance if necessary? Small price to pay for the sake of peace in Western Zemuria, wouldn't you say?
Grr! Settle down, everyone. There's no reason to get worked up. I agree the Chancellor's proposal is a bit drastic. However, I share the opinions that the CGF leaves much to be desired and is wholly inadequate when it comes to state security.
Oh, what would you propose then?
This is only a suggestion, but I would propose beginning with a mass reduction of the Guardian Force enrollment levels. In exchange, Calvard will smooth responsibility for Tamgun Gate, and Erebonia can have the Belgard Gate. This way, both armies are able to respond to emergencies here in Crossbell City.
Maybe it's worth consideration. You're an impressive man, President Rocksmith. You managed to be an excellent statesman and leader, all while fending off staunch political opposition.
Not prepared to you, Chancellor. You're reforming an entire empire while suppressing the influence of discontent nobles.
This can't be happening. I've had enough. You two are aware that there are more than 2 countries participating in this conference, yes?
Pardon me, Your Highness. President and I may have gotten a little sidetracked. Still, the direction of conversation is obvious. Would you mind giving us your opinions on the idea? interesting. That's terrible. Absurd, more like it. It takes serious balls to say any of this with a straight face. Hate to say it, but it's as though their proposals don't have any basis. I'm still hoping they won't come to this. This might be the part where we hope they can hold out for just a little bit longer. Now of all times, it could be Dudley. Bannings. Sergey. Chief, what's going... No, keep it short. Sonia called me. Radar trackers near Tangram and Belgrade were destroyed. Same ones used for anti-air radar to detect potential invading ships in Crossbell's airspace. What? She suspects it was the work of the terrorists. I've already filled Dudley in. I'll tell you what I told him. Be careful, get ready. Roger. Fuck. What's going on? Is it my uncle? Yo, is it my uncle and the others? No, it was... Please, everyone, may I have your attention? I'm assuming it's his Qua. Mr. Qua. Regarding your concerns over security measures, I would like to offer my own suggestion. Oh?
I thought you'd be staying a little too quiet. Let's hear it. What do you suggest?
Very well. I was thinking. Everyone, get down! Oh shit. What? Airships? God damn.
No way. Is it the terrorists?
They came all the way here?
Don't worry, the war windows are bulletproof with tempered glass. Just to be safe, I'm asking you all to get back from the window. Fuck me, man.
Alright, Your Highness. Yes, I'm fine. Airships.
No, the airship was a high-speed rainfall model.
Yes, there's no mistaking it. The Verne Company was military gunship.
Right.
This one aligns with the reports of being stolen.
Nope. Yes, thank goodness. Never mind that. Where did they go?
Good. You're sure to be able to hear me now. Conference attendees, allow me to introduce ourselves. We are the Imperial Liberation Front, and we represent the anti-immigration faction seeking to protect our traditions and sanctity of our beloved Calvard.
The beloved Calvard. Sorry, I should have done that. The two terrorist groups active in Empire and the Republic.
We have formed an alliance to topple our respective enemies. Prepare yourself, Blood and Iron Chancellor Gilead Osbourne. Resident Rocksmith, you will meet your end. To protect the traditions of Calvard from the abomination of the East, we will stop at nothing.
How foolish. Utter nonsense.
Yeah, but it ain't looking too good.
Here they come. One of those looks like the ship. Looks like the ship. Rhineford model, the ship that the Bobcats used. Here they go. Are they all wearing, like, cat face masks? Because that is interesting. So, they're heading straight for us. Damn it. Those why their blueprints were there. We need CGF units stand by and move. What? What the heck? Wait, what's happening? Pierre. No response from the panel. What in Adius's name is going on? Where's my scoop? Do something, Reins. What am I supposed to do, Grace? This is far from ideal. Orchid's tower systems must be under their control. It's likely the work of the hacker from yesterday. We have to move. Let's get to the 34th floor and protect the dignitaries. Roger. The elevator's up and we gotta head up the stairs. And I think this is a good point to say. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on Trails to as you will.